How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for a brand new series. In this series, I'm going to be 100%ing No Man's Sky, so if you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let's get into it. My first goal was to find my ship and get off planet as soon as possible, so I could find a planet with more valuable resources to get me ahead sooner into the game. Alright, that should be the last repair we need on this ship, and I can see there's a hospitable planet with some valuable things. I managed to find a planet with ancient bones on them, which happened to be very valuable, and these came in very large clusters. Jesus, this is the largest cluster I've seen so far. This might be the last one I'll be able to take to the space station. And we got a rare one for the first one. That's good. After selling my inventory at the space station, I had somewhere around 9 million units, which isn't a lot, but it's very good for the early game. After that, I decided I wanted to learn more about the Gek language, start some trouble on the ground, and trade my ship in for a much nicer ship. And exchange. There we go. Next, I decided to build a very rudimentary base just so I could progress a little bit further on the main storyline, and this is what it looked like. Nothing too impressive, but it's home. Back at the space station, I decided to harass the NPCs until they kicked me out of the solar system, causing me to go ahead and continue on the main storyline, getting closer to the center of the universe. After a few more system hops, I spawned into my first space battle. There's a couple different types in No Man's Sky. There's ship versus ship, ship versus freighter, and then there's freighter versus freighter. The freighter versus freighter right now is my favorite just because of the mechanics. It's a little bit reminiscent of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2. The battle was over pretty quick as there's only 5 ships to start out with, and ship v ship combat is the easiest that I've seen in No Man's Sky. But helping the freighter is super rewarding as you get the freighter for free if it's your first freighter. If not, then you have to pay or exchange for them. But since this is my first freighter, I got this one for free and it's a C class, but it's better than nothing. My freighter came with 1 frigate, so I sent it out on an expeditionary mission to make me some more money. When I went back out in space, I found the starship that was floating around, and I was able to get some coordinates to another crashed starship. Once I accessed the onboard computer for the starship, it gave me more coordinates to continue on the questline for the Voice of Freedom, and it also initiated a combat sequence with some ruined sentinels. These sentinels are just like the other ones, except they've been corrupted by something. I found this derelict freighter, and it also initiated another fight sequence. Seems like that's been happening a lot with this storyline. But I was able to take care of these fighters very quickly, and the only thing that was on the derelict freighter was some gold that also initiated more fight sequence, so I took care of that pretty quick. I jumped into hyperspace one more time and ended up in a system that had an outlaw space station. These outlaw space stations are just like normal space stations, except they're ruled by the criminal world of No Man's Sky. That means you can get illegal upgrades for your multi-tool, your exosuit, and your spaceship. I was also able to get the Shroud of Freedom headset. I wasn't able to equip that because I'm not sure how to do that. And I also found a pretty good starship that I ended up trading my current starship in for. This one had rechargeable sails, so I see that as a win. After I was done exploring the Outlaw Space Station, I went ahead and jumped into another system where I found myself in a space battle, and I also found a settlement that didn't have an overseer, so I went ahead and took the job for them. After some more exploring, I decided I was going to get back to what I originally started doing, and that was increasing my Gek rank standings. I did that by doing some missions for the Geks. I also engaged with them in dialogue on space station or in trader posts. If you try to learn language from them, they'll teach you the language. You can also practice the language. We'll give you some rewards like an increase in Gek standing, nanites, or even upgrades sometimes. You can also give Gek NPCs Gek relics, which increase your standing by 1 point. You can get these relics by either traveling through space and having a starship drop down and sell them to you, or you can find them on the ground in hidden caches. Either way is good enough. I also increased my Gek standing by interacting with ancient monoliths and seeking help with language instead of seeking knowledge of the past. Every word you learn from an ancient monolith will increase your Gek standing by 1. You can also increase your Gek standing by dealing with pirate starships that enter the solar system. After having done this for about 6 hours, the best way I found to most efficiently raise my Gek standing was to initialize as many missions as possible, find as many Gek relics as possible while planetside or traveling through space using the pulse engine, and then trying to interact with NPCs on the space station once I came back to turn those missions in, and handing them the Gek relics while practicing the language. I'm also trying to learn the language so that way I have all the words learned by endgame so we'll see how that goes. Later.